Hi everybody, welcome back to Vintage Story Season 2, Episode 60 with me, Sid, and we are here in our winter home, January, in game, on our second year, and we now have this nice place some 20,000 blocks south of where we set up our original base, with a shack. And a little bit of storage with, a few bits and pieces, nothing too exciting, but just stuff that we've collected. Now, my map tells me that there is an old ruin to the north of me, and also that we haven't really explored any further this direction. So, I would like to get my farm plots built. I'd like to build them up here, built back a little bit from this area, just to get some stuff in, and I have some ideas of how I want to build these, and I'm going to need some building materials, so I figured we'd start off with a walk over to that ruin, where I've already explored it, so I don't think there'll be anything there, but one of the nice things about ruins is they provide a reasonable amount of building materials for, let me just map, boop, tree, resin, that's the word I was looking for. Yep, always mark your resin, it's a valuable resource. Now, there is a chance of wolfies, I'm fully aware of that, and but we can cope. We can cope with one. Two might be a little bit much. Any more than that is, it's just not a good time for anybody. But we're armed. We're armoured. We should be able to survive, hopefully, and we'll go. Now, if there's a slight sound of what's that there? A dead chick. I think we know what happened there then. If there's a slight sound of wind, or if the audio has got a little bit more noise on it than usual, it's summertime in England. It's those 3 or 4 days of nice weather that we get every year, which means that my fan's on, and I will try and remove it in post, but not always possible. And I should also, while we're out here, be keeping my eye out for any reasonable food sources, I suppose. Where am I now? I'm not too far away from that. And it should give us the opportunity. See, that I suspect is just a sandbank. I don't think that's going to be anything particularly interesting, but it's always nice to get out and search the area that you live in and learn what's in the area. I know, for example, we'll have those just spotted over here. I know, for example, that there is definitely a colony of wolfies within, I think, to the southeast of me, probably. But we'll have these, because these are useful, and they allow me to add a bit of greenery to the place. Shame that one hadn't flowered, but can't have everything, can we? Apparently. So yeah, that's kind of the plan today. Get some building materials and then try and get 1 or 2, or maybe even all 4, maybe 4 or so garden plots down. I will go home and pick up the Terra Preta, because we're going to want that for those. As much of that in Terra Preta as possible. Waste not, want not. Right, so what was this ruin? I've obviously been here, I've obviously found it. I think it is literally just a ruined village with little to nothing of any significant value here. Let me just have a pot around. Yeah, so this is going to be useful for the since when did cobblestone drop cobblestone? Is that a new? Wow. Colour me surprised. I mean, I can use it, don't get me wrong, but it kind of begs the question, why don't I just use just my normal stone? So we can get the age. It's just the cobble. Well, today I learned. Oh well, we'll keep on just excavating the stuff that I can use, and I'll leave the rest of the stuff, I suppose. And you know, it is what it is. Right, I'm going to take a short while to gather a little bit of this resourceage, so I'll be back with you in a moment. Well, that did not yield as much as I would have liked, but it did at least yield some. That I have heard a wolf in the area, so I am being... I think it was the other way over that way, but I'm not trusting my sense of hearing that good. After all, I do wear hearing aids, so there you go. Yeah, my hearing. I tell you, getting old sucks. Everything stops working. But yeah, we got some. I'm a little bit surprised about that cobblestone, and I don't know. I don't recall reading anything about cobblestone having that particular issue. When I moved up to 119, so I'm somewhat surprised by that. If it's a 119 feature, I may disable it. I may change it back. You know, there's certain blocks and certain behaviours that, well, you know, the idea of playing any game is to enjoy it, and if changes come along that make it less enjoyable for you, then an option should be to change them back. You know, first and foremost, we want this game to be something we enjoy. So that didn't seem half as far walking back. I should really just get rid of that out of my hand. Didn't seem half as far walking back as it felt like walking out. Did pick up a few bits and pieces. Nothing useful. Some bean aids and some seeds and the likes. In fact, if anything, it's probably less than useful, because that now means I need to find somewhere to stash all of this, which is going to be easier said than done, I think. Unless I have some nails about my personage, which I may have. I've kind of been getting into the habit of carrying nails in my toolkit, my back. No, I haven't. Okay, that is not going to fly very well then, is it? So, of course, it is winter, so with the night sets early, but we can head back. Let me just check my. I'm wet. It's going to be cold if I go back, but let's go and see what we got up here, because it's -7 up here. Have I not got even one set of nails built? I really do find that hard to credit. But apparently I don't have any nails pre-made. That's something we should probably address, to be honest. We can also have a look at what we've got in the way of, because this is all andesite, and I don't know whether I've got any andesite blocks, but this area up here is not andesite country. No, this is all, that's definitely not playing. Right. Let's. I'll keep my eye on my body temperature because it's cold out here, and we'll set a couple of. Actually, we'll set lots of nails going. Boop. And boop. And a little bit of extra boop. Tis look good. I should have some copper. I could probably cast up all those copper at some point. Got loads of iron. That's all ready to process at some point as well. However, yeah, I can put that away as well. That's going to be a bonus. And hammer. And get rid of you. And you while we're at it. And we'll just make up some nails, so then I can at least make some more things. Lovely and snowy up here, isn't it? Look at the map. I mean, obviously the chunks that aren't loaded are not showing it's snowy, but that is really pretty. Yeah, so make some nails. Back in a bit. Alright, we've got nails. I've made myself a quick trunk, which we will literally throw down on top of the other trunk, and then we can just divest myself of everything that I have picked up since I came down here. I've also brought down my tropical seeds. Oh, that I can eat, so we'll just eat that. I haven't got a lot of them, but amaranth, sunflowers and soya beans are all warmer weather seeds, so we might as well see about getting those planted, and then maybe something like flax or something as well. But K, N and K, and N, so 2 N's. So yeah, it's not going to be huge, but there's going to be some interesting bits there. That's all good. It is 2300 hours, so we'll sleep the night off. And with a bit of luck, it'll be a nice, well, of course it's going to be a nice day. It's we're south, so that's going to be windy, I think. And we do need to we'll get ovens and cooking facilities down here and all of that, but this is obviously it's a shack, so let's keep that in mind as we build. Do I not have any more path blocks? I thought I've got 4. That is somewhat surprising, because that's like enough to do what? Something like that, and then I've run out. Okay. Right, so how do I want to do these farms? I would like to try to think how big I made them before, because we're actually not as limited on this one. We can make them a different scale. Let me grab some of that and some of that and some of that. Why have I got some andesite cobble but not all andesite cobble? I'm confused. Not very, but I'm somewhat confused. So what we need to do, I think, is I'm gonna have a path that runs along here. Till we get to about here, at which point we'll start going up. And at least andesite's not going to be a problem down here because we're in andesite country, so get a little bit of clay. We've got andesite cobble, that's not an issue. And then we kind of probably level out at this thing, so I'm going to leave you there flowering for now, because now the problem with all farms is that little bunnies like to get their snout in the trough, so to speak. So my thoughts were, let's actually surround this farm with a pit, so we can kind of go over here. Let's have a look. I think going pit. Do I want a wall? I suppose I should have a wall. Wall, thing, water, thing, water, thing, wall, pit. And we'll make it a fairly narrow little farm plot, and then that's pit, and then obviously this will be edge. So I think what we're going to end up doing is something. Might as well leave you as that. Doesn't really need to be dug up, does it? And then this can just be a pit down the side. But what I would like to do is then try and make the pit functional as an animal trap, so we can, any rabbits and things that do go in, we can, well, let's not beat around the bush, we can eat them. And they therefore it kind of doubles up. So if we kind of go like that, this is all pit, so this will need to come down, that's not a problem. And we'll have to landscape that back a wee bit, but let's have a look. So we're up here. How big to make it? How far back? Maybe just as far as here, and then we'll take, because this is going to have to come back as well. Yeah, we'll bring it to here. So something along these lines, and then all of this will be backfilled with just this rubbish that we've accrued down to this level. Hang on a second, John, you're getting ahead of yourself. There we go. But then I'm going to need some stair blocks, because we're going to run a path there, and a path there. Put me right. Have I got anything that we could? Well, there's two ways of doing this, isn't there? One is to, let me just go out. Let me have a look. So if I have a look at path, we've got stone path, and we can do that with We can make 4 with the thing and the things and the stuff. Okay. Can I do them upside down, and can I waterlock them, I suppose, is then the question. Pathmaker, dirt, 6, 8, 10. We'll do 16. 25. I apparently had some. So we can then. Can I not place you upside down? Oh, that's not going to play nicely then, is it? Okay, well, that's disappointing. So we're not using that trick. That's not going to help me a great deal. We can do this though. Which I suppose at least is a step in the right direction, and then we will, that's path, and that's path, so we'll bring these up here, make us up, and that will move in a moment. So we can't use those as a well, we can, but it's not. The water's going to be exposed, and I don't want that. I want the water to be hidden. So I suspect what I'm going to be doing is. I have got a bucket. Okay. Let's have a look then. Still need to figure out the walls as well, don't I? But that's fine. So if I do this down to here, and we'll keep, these are deliberately small gardens at the moment. We'll get there later. It's not all about size. Sometimes it's about the right tool for the right job, and this right tool for this right job is and I'm only doing it like this to ensure that all the crop blocks are within 1 block of the water source, so otherwise I would normally just do it to, I would have maybe gone to a smaller capacity. No. That is definitely her. Right, and we'll restock you. Now I need my Terra Crater. And then we need to think about some walls, which I should be able to make. Just like that. Although I'm going to need more, so I'm probably going to need to dig some under. No, I don't. Rip. And we're probably going to want fence as well. Fence gate, if not anything else. Got one. What's the recipe on that one? Planks and sticks. Stickage. Thank you. Boop, boop, boop. Terra Preta, please. Just give me a stack. Thank you. And we'll sort this path out. That's all in the future. Yeah, I mean, this field is great because it's not actually consuming every last bit of resource. And because I want this pit to be at least 2 deep, probably 3 to be fair, then we'll get plenty of stone to make the rest of the wall. I could also utilise well, okay, let's just get these in. A couple of trappies and we're laughing. Okay, let me just continue building this out and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, well that is in. It's going to grow, obviously. We've put in this hole here. Right now I still need to landscape these back because I suspect a rabbit could get into that field from this high point in the terrain. It's also quite ugly, so we'll try and landscape this lot back a wee bit. There are definitely wolves over that way. That was me dropping stone on me. Nothing to do with anything nefarious. Nefarious or nefarious? Nefarious, I'm fairly certain. You know when you sit there and you pronounce a word and you sit there and you go, was that right? Is that the correct? That didn't sound right in my ears. Yeah, that was one of those wonderful moments. So, but yeah, I'm fairly certain it's nefarious. So there you go. Anyway, so a little bit of landscaping on either side of this just to get rid of these tall, ugly points where I may plant myself a tree up on this corner here just to give it a little bit of a nice look once the tree grows in, of course, because it's not going to look like anything until that happens. And we'll dig this back, make it look pretty, and then there's that bit to do. So yeah, back in a bit. Alright, I've got that built, I've got it done. I think I would like to go and have an explore over this direction to see what's over here. Now I'm fairly certain there are wolves over here. There may be wolves over that way, but what I have done is that is temp, I don't know where my home rune actually is. That's a very good point. Doesn't matter. Right, so we are going to pair this up and we are going to call this winter base, just for this. We could have called it south base, we could have called it winter base, anything works. And at least now I can get back here rapidly, which is going to be beneficial. I've been back and grabbed a little food, so I've also got the path in. I've added a little bit of light up to here. This needs some landscaping. This pit is done. I've replaced most of the sides with sand and things, and then what we've got in here is another mini pit. So if any bunnies get in there, when I walk and chase them, they'll fall into the mini pit, which makes them easier to unlife, to remove, to pop their mortal coil to make X bunnies. So yeah, and I am not going to go into the bunny sketch, I promise. So which, you know, for the uninitiated is a more up-to-date version of the Pet Parrot sketch. Actually, true story, I have written, I mean, script is too much of a thing. I have written a parody of the Parrot sketch for work. We have at work a laptop loaner repair service which is primarily aimed at students, and they can bring their own laptops in and get them repaired much cheaper than the high street prices. Still not free. It was originally free, but you know, needless to say, there is no way you're keeping that a service like that running as free. It's all obviously going to be very popular. But you can also borrow a laptop for several weeks. There's like a lending process, very much like a library, bring it back and all these fines and yada yada. And I kind of had a vision of the Parrot sketchbook with a laptop. I wish to register a complaint. This laptop, which I borrowed from this very boutique not half an hour ago, is dead. Very much along those lines. Never actually found anybody who could keep a straight face while I was playing the John Cleese role. To play the well, it would be it would be the laptop loaner repair person's role, which would be equivalent of the Michael Palin as the laptop owner. That is interesting. Now, what does this mean? Something? Plinth top. There's definitely something. I mean, it's just a thing. It doesn't appear to have any significance other than, being cool. And hollow, actually. Interesting. Well, I'll take it. That was... Actually, I should have left it in place, shouldn't I? I'll get a screenshot of what I've done back at the base. That's fine. It can come with me. Right, let's have a look on the map. What have we got going on around here? Really doesn't look like much of anything, to be honest. That I suspect is a tree. That looks like a tree. See, this looks like it should have something, but clearly doesn't. Let's just walk this. If I can get myself some height, I may be able to see what that is over there. I really do need to start. What I actually probably need to do is go adventuring with Punk and actually leave my Angel Belt at home on the server and actually do it the hard way. And just pick up a set of tips, because I'm sure there is equipment. I mean, Punk always has, for example, a massive supply of rope ladders about his personage. So that's probably something when you're playing without that, the ability to fly, as I am. That's probably something I should be carrying. I tend to manage to get away without it, but I can't help but wonder how much easier my life might be with that that luxury, if you like. But yeah, it's I can usually find my way around. But my guess is I probably burn more saturation the way I do it than the way Punk does. I bet his food lasts him longer. That's probably something we need to do. Whether we get it done in season 3 or whether we wait for season 4 when it's not a case of leave it behind, it's a case of you ain't got it. Because let's be honest, it's very hard not to use something when you've got it. But yeah, that was an interesting little play. I mean, it wasn't a massive ruin or anything, and I would really like to find something impressive. Although impressive will probably come with scary, so I have to accept that impressive might not be something that I want to find, because it might have two-headed drifters and all sorts of wonderful unpleasantness in the thing. That's just quartz, I think. I seldom even mark quartz because it's It's so common. Let's have a look. What can we see on the map? That is almost certainly a trader. I don't know what trader, but it is almost certainly a trader. So we'll just flag you. That could be something. Really not seeing anything screaming at me. I'm going to head this way a little bit because I'm entirely sure witches are going to be the best way to go. My personal preference when... No, that is just a natural formation. It's alright, it's just a couple of bits of rock poking up there which really did not look natural. My personal preference when exploring is to try... farming vessels probably got nothing in it, but a bit of flax and some feathers. It's better than a kick in the face, I suppose. I mean, I'm fairly certain. You see here, this is not dropping. This is dropping cobblestone. I'm not really that worried about this. I don't want to build in that right now. But that's just weird. And there could be stuff buried in some of these little ruins. In fact, let me just mark that. But I should mark that on the map so I know I've visited it. But I prefer to have terrain that I can see. This is not my ideal terrain, but I think further to the south the terrain is even less ideal. So let us see. All that looking for bees, that's the second beehive I've heard this episode when I'm not looking for them. And I'm wary about these things. Paddy straw, I've got no idea. And a lobster. Cooks to I mean, doesn't say it gives me any damage, so maybe they are safe. So I could look them up, couldn't I? If I was really... Chop, 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 chop. Might as well harvest a few bits of food while I'm down here. There we go. Right. I'm going to carry on just going for a little while, and I will be back in a moment. Well, we've got a temporal storm coming in. I have managed to find, well, a whole load of different edible mushrooms, a whole load of things. I've just found some high fertility soil, and I'm just kind of grabbing these fruit bushes because we are going to have to get a fruit bush garden going, or farm area. It occurs to me that I should make that down here where the weather is warmer, because my growing season should hopefully... I have dug up all of that, haven't I? No, I didn't. I mean, you might be some too, yeah. There you go, a couple of bits. But we're not finding a huge amount now. There is a small ruin over there. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile hiking over in the dark. So that's probably something we can look at another time. But for the most part, I think I'm happy enough with the progress this episode. That was, it's kind of a thing that another subject that we've been talking about, or I've been talking about quite a lot with people, and this is the subject of the mega build versus the build, for want of a better alternative phrase for something that's not a mega build. I've said this before, and don't get me wrong, I have done mega builds, or what anybody would refer to as a mega build by any. Ooh, hang on. That's a teleporter, isn't it? Oh, hello. Okay, let's have a look. You are pristine elliptic. Now there's a trader over there, but that can I make you red? No, I can't make you red apparently. Okay, fine, have it your way. But there's a source of big old water source block back there. Obviously, I mean, if you've been with the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I've done some fairly hefty builds. Some of the biggest builds I've ever done have been in Skyblock, because you start with the requirement to boink. Hey, we end up on the top. That's a bit of a pain. Yeah, because Skyblock lends itself to excessively large builds because you don't have anything in the world to go with. But no, not do that. But yeah, so I do like. I like builds which grow organically. Now, for me, something like Mana and Brass, the last server series I did, you could argue that was a mega build. You could quite easily argue that was a mega build. But I would argue that it wasn't. It was actually a large build made up of lots of small to medium builds. Because I think a mega build is something that is planned from the outset as a large scale build. You know it's going to be big. You know you're going to do a big build. Therefore, it's planned as such. I'm just going to keep those in there for now. We do need to do something with all of this food. Because it won't stay fresh forever. But my preferred style is something like this where, one session you build that. Nothing massive, just a small but detailed and hopefully quite attractive area. And then you'll build that, and then you'll build. So, yeah, which is, that's kind of my design ethic, if you like. And that can come out now. Thank you. Now, can I get a good view? F4, Alt F12, back. So yeah, it's just an interesting one. I'm not sure. Sometimes I think people equate scale to quality, and scale is not the same as quality. Just building something massive doesn't make it good. So it's just an interesting debate there. But on that note, I think I'm going to call this episode here. We are going to skip this storm next episode because we are not equipped to deal with a storm. And until next time, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you soon. Bye for now.